Okay, it is a Tuesday, first day of February, 9:26 a.m. I'll be honest, after yesterday, I just felt like crap. Today, I didn't even really want to get into the stock market, but I am here, and I'm not going to give up. It just feels like crap. It just feels like, every setup that I don't take works, and every setup that I take works, and I just need to get that out of me and just keep going forward. Because the morning panic bounce plays have not really been working, I'm going to be really speculative. I really would ideally like to see a gap down morning panic bounce play because those work very nicely. One that has a significant, at least like a 10% gap down, if not ideally like 15-20%. Those would be ideal. If we get any of those, I'll focus on that. Otherwise, I'll probably be very cautious on trading today, and if maybe I see something nice with SPY, I might consider an option, although I might give that a break for a few days, just a good break. But that is something I would like to consider. The issue is that I've seen a lot of traders who give up trading ultimately, and the last thing they do before they give up is that they just get into options and then they just keep burning their money down a hole. So I want to avoid something like that, and yeah, I just have to do the best with what I can do and just continue forward. Okay, it is 9:58 a.m. and I had one trade with ILUS. It wasn't super ideal, but it did have a bit of a classic drop in that it dropped a bunch, and then it had a big volume candle right here, which was the bottom ultimately. In the beginning, I was looking at IGEX a lot more. I didn't really see ILUS when it was around here, but I did see IGEX because it was a gap down. It was at 76. It opened lower and it downtrended, and I was waiting for it for a potential, consolidation, and then good price action, like people constantly hitting the ask, and then people are showing up on the bid. But that wasn't the case with this here. What happened is that there were just too many people at the ask with a lot of size. You could still see that here, so it could try to do a move later, but it didn't do it in the morning, which I think is most ideal for a setup. And as for ILUS, I did have the opportunity to try here. I hesitated here, and I didn't see this part right here. And the one I did trade was at 940, which was this one, this follow-up from this one. And that was a buy at 2345. So 2345 right here was my entry at 940. Same idea, and then it just had a drop. It came back, and then it kind of had another drop after this one that was lower, closer to the level. And I think what I should do, because of stocks like ILUS, that doesn't trade with a very significant range, and that like, okay, worst case scenario, breaks the day low at 232, maybe here, not including the wick. Because it just trades with such a small range, I might actually just push myself and trade a larger size, a $30 risk level, instead of a $10 risk level. I might do something like that, but yeah, my entry again was right here, 940. I did sell half of my position at 2359 at 941. I didn't like the price action. Also didn't like how close we were to VWAP. It did eventually break VWAP, as you can see, and it looks very nice, but yeah, not when I was in it. I saw these two candles here. They looked super sketchy. I got out at 942 at 2351 right here. I got out here, and I got out here on this candle. So I got out here, I got out here. It did downtrend one more time and even got lower than my entry, got lower than this wick here, but never did break the day low, which is cool. I did give it a chance in that I waited a little bit, right? It just looked horrible. I sold half my position. Also a bit jaded because, I haven't been, super profitable trading. So I did sell half for a slight profit to kind of help with that. And then the other half, again, I sold at that piece, and, it did make the move eventually. Then they had like the rug pull, I guess. They brought it all the way back down to VWAP. And yeah, that summarizes this right here. I did see like the price action here in the 238 level that maybe it was going to shoot up to 24, but I didn't take it because it's above VWAP, and it did do it, but yeah, it wasn't super ideal. It looks like IGEX just broke the day low. I'll be watching it, but it's still nothing really significant if you look at a daily chart. So I'll make an update later. I don't see anything right now, but who knows, maybe there's gonna be another setup later. Okay, it is 10:11. I was looking at IGEX for a reversal setup after it kind of broke this trend line right here, but I never took it because this Megatron, it was a 9 million share seller. Now it's 7, so it appears to be a real seller, because whenever it gets to 59, it doesn't just disappear. It seems to be there, but I was able to get in at 57 while it was still on the ask, but now it's just at the bid, so it uptrended a little bit. Now we're at 58. I want to see if this can do it, just to learn from it. I'm not in the setup, just to see if it's going to take out that big Megatron seller on the ask, and I'll make an update later to see what happens with this. Alright, it is 10:19, and if you can see right here, Mr. Megatron blew up into 1 million pieces. And I want to see now what this thing can do with the fact that that big seller was gone. It looks like we have these 2 million share sellers, but it's not as bad as some guy who was trying to sell like $60,000 worth of, you know, shares on this sub penny stock. So that's pretty cool. You know, it did do it. I even thought about maybe buying at 58, but just lowering my size massively, just because of the fact it's not an ideal price, 57, and there was still that big seller there, but it already got to VWAP, which is nice. I mean, 57 to 61 on a, you know, sub penny, that's actually a lot in terms of percentage. Let's just see what that would have been. I mean, 57, I originally had 25,000 shares in theory, and a sell at 60, 142. Did not mean to put 69. I guess that would have been $8 right there, and that would have been a nice percent gain, just not a large size actually. It's getting sold off, but it did get to VWAP. It did play out. This trend line did work out. You know, it consolidated. It didn't just, you know, break past the trend line and then it broke right under it again. It just held itself together. It had a base at 56. 57 would have been ideal for an entry, and not like 57 and a half, but 57 actually. And it did get to VWAP at 62, and it can try to get above VWAP even more. So this one worked out. It was just a bit riskier than usual because it's a sub penny, and it had a big, you know, 9 million share seller at the ask. They got taken out. Pretty impressive. I'll make an update later. Alright, 11:07, just a quick update. IGEX did get to 63, which is impressive. It did take a little bit of a break, but it did come back to that level, which is nice. ILUS, again, just offered that move there. It did, you know, have a dip under VWAP, but that, you know, it's a bit degenerate. Again, in the future, I might consider trading stocks like ILUS, CYBL, with more size, because it doesn't trade with that much volatility in terms of percent differences from one level to another. This one is uptrending. I don't think I ever mentioned it, but I was actually wanting to be interested in it yesterday, and I never got into it because I didn't want to get in pre-market, because it could do anything pre-market and then do something completely different at the market open. And then I was looking at ILUS, and then it started uptrending, and then I wanted to try it on the downtrend, and it offered one here. Same idea with LWLG, in that it had this little trend line right here and it broke it, and it's following it very nicely. I just missed it because it just kept uptrending the entire time, and I'm not the type of guy to really do something like that. And I think the reason why LWLG is doing it now, but it failed initially and it's not looking as nice as MTTRs, because this one was an OTC, so this one might be a little more sketchy. And I didn't see this. I did like how it did a double bottom here. If I saw it, I would have taken it, and that would have been super profitable too. So I just have to really just hang in there and keep trying. Just probably not trade an option, although I was watching this one with SPY, and this one was interesting in that it broke under VWAP, immediately came back, and then it broke under it, and then it tried to stay above it again, and it failed. This was a rejection point. I didn't see it here, but you know, this made a downtrend right here, and then it kind of tried one more time. It got past it a little, and then it broke under, and then at this point it looks like an inverse head and shoulder, shoulder head. Sorry, I had to take a drink of water, but yeah. So the idea was is that it was like a head and shoulders, inverse head and shoulders, shoulder head, and then a shoulder here, and then it was playing around that VWAP. It broke it here, but just a little bit, it went right back under. And now this time it actually held through, and this was like a confirmed breakout past VWAP, and that it kind of broke past it. You know, it got to here, then it drops near the level, and it held in the uptrend. So there was some opportunity, sure, to trade options, but I think I just need more screen time. I just want to watch it a bit more before I consider it again. I'm very happy I tried that one yesterday, even if I didn't do my best exiting that one. But yeah, that's all I have for right now. I don't think I'll trade anything else in the future, you know, today, unless something just looks incredible. But not too bad. I'm very happy to have seen, you know, a setup here with LWLG, even if I didn't take it. Alright, it is 10:57 p.m. and I am here to call it off. Overall, I just finished up, I think about $1, maybe 98 cents, but I'll just put $1, and I was trading with ILUS. Again, me buying right here and selling the next 2 minutes because I just saw too many people selling their shares on the bid, too much dumping price action, and it led to this candle right here, and then eventually it did do the turnaround. Now, you know, according to my spreadsheets with the size I traded and everything, and in terms of how little the range is with ILUS, I only had a tiny $5 risk level. If it were to have broken the day low, and I would have had to have sold at 23. So I think I'll make an exception for ILUS. If it happens again, a morning panic bounce play, I'll just double down my size, and it'll just be accordingly in terms of that, just because it doesn't trade with a lot of range again. And just staying in my realm, I'm really happy that IGEX offered an opportunity, even if there was that big 9 million share seller at the ask, and it actually did a follow-up move towards the highs, which was pretty cool, but nothing that I'm really interested in doing. Not something I want to trade anytime soon, but it is something I'm starting to see more often than not. ILUS is very similar in that it had like that little dip right here, and then it came back, but IGEX of course was much nicer. And then I'm really happy this one happened, although I never saw it with LWLG. Again, I just have to keep going. That's all I have for here. I don't want to drag it out or anything crazy like that. I just have to keep going, keep getting better, and probably stay away from options, but I do want to consider it sometime in the future again.